Hello, everyone. Again, welcome. Thank you for joining us today for our monthly meeting. My name is Lamecca Holmes. I'm the director of the East Flatbush Community Partnership, and we are grateful that you have joined us today. Again, feel free to introduce yourself in the chat. Let us know if you are a resident of East Flatbush or if you are representing a service provider. We're going to begin with our agenda for today. We have some words of encouragement from Leslie Marshall. We're going to have our East Flatbush Community Partnership updates. We do have our What's Happening segment. We have 3 presentations today, one from Terry Rhymes Lowry, the second from Shanna L. Adane and Brandy Orange. We'll end off with program updates, and we're going to get started with things. So for words of encouragement, Leslie, feel free to unmute yourself and you can begin.
Hello, beautiful people. How's everyone today? I just want to thank you guys for the opportunity to allow me to pop in on your meeting. You guys are doing a fantastic job from what I've heard, what I've seen on your website. I know that you do so many terrific things in the community, from family support to foster care. I'm realizing you guys do so much. So thank you again for helping the needy. And it doesn't get better than that, honestly. I saw the Jewish Mandate for the first time. I liked it. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. What is it? Tikkun Olam. And yes, it reminded me that it is, no matter what language you say, it is our responsibility for every person to do what they can to make a difference. So big kudos to the East Flatbush community. I'm always hearing about this partnership from Diane. So I'll just say a really 2-minute, 1-second word of prayer, and then I'll get out your way, give some encouragement. Almighty God, dear Lord, Father, we thank you for the opportunity to gather in friendship and love. I ask that you bless the JCCA as they continue to make a difference and an impact in the lives of our community, God. I pray for motivation and inspiration, and I ask that you continue to provide guidance and to give a spirit of enthusiasm that they won't lose as they go along helping others with a spirit of excellence and a smile. Please lead the ideas of their meetings and give vision on how we all individually, related to this group or not, that we can be the change that our community and our family and our job needs. So really, when I think of community, I smile because I think of the good old days. Now that I'm getting older, it's the great old days where our neighbors and our neighborhood children were corrected, and we didn't get upset. We didn't get angry. No questions was asked. We appreciated the neighborhood and the people that looked out for our children. And when somebody moved into the neighborhood, we brought food over. If somebody lost a child, if somebody had a birth, we felt it was our obligation because we weren't so busy with work and social media and just our lives. And it was just a sense of making strangers feel like they belong. So we cherish the elderly. And I know I'm preaching to the choir here. It's nothing here that I could say that you guys don't already do or already know. But I just want to encourage whoever you are, whatever you do, whether it be in your home, in your neighborhood, don't lose your zeal. Stay motivated regardless of how uncomfortable it gets. Like Mother Teresa said, I may say it backwards, but if you just throw the stone, you don't know that rippling effect it could have. And my question to you and to me is, what happens if we don't cast that stone? The work is going to get done, but it would be great if it's through us. So I want to remind you to hold on to your passion, hold on to your compassion. I know looking at the news every day, we get, just walking around. Sometimes you do want to throw in the towel. You do want to just say, I have better things that I could be doing, but your action matters. My action matters, big or small. Being thoughtful and committed citizens, we can change the world. And one of my favorites, Dr. Maya Angelou, says what? Be a rainbow in somebody's cloud. And Michael Jackson told us to what? Look at the man in the mirror. So I see some women on here, so it's not just men. But I was looking because you guys, when you make me do a little homework for myself and for the characteristics of a servant leader, I had to look at myself that I'm working on is empathy. Because even though I have love and compassion, we have to value other people's perspective, because sometimes it's easy to say, well, this is my idea. And I'm sure you guys don't have that in your organization, but sometimes we have to step outside of how we see it or how we feel. We all have strong personalities, but we have to stay humble. No man is an island. So Charlene should be able to pick up the phone and call Megan and say, you see, for Lamaka, Corrine, I need some help. Also have courage. It takes courage. Don't be afraid. Take the risk. You'll be surprised. And listen. Sometimes we just need to listen. So as we face the different problems in our community, and some, some will say it's not my job, it's not my problem, it's not my child, it's not my block, it's not my church. It could end up at your front door. Never, never say never. So it's a need. It's in the community. You guys are really special. I will do more reading and research on what it is that you guys do. But, some people say hunger is the issue. Some people say education, homelessness. No matter what you do, no matter what your part is, whatever part you play, we are living in a day where we definitely need people like you guys. And, too many people don't care anymore. They say, I've made it. They don't make as much money as me. My children have graduated college. I don't have to get involved. But in closing, I just want to tell you guys to keep the mindset of the Good Samaritan. I don't know what your religion is. I don't know who you pray to. I'm not here to convert you, but I will say just keep the mindset of the Good Samaritan, of course, without putting yourself in harm's way. And whatever you do, collectively or individually, big or small, keep the mindset. You guys, it's your mantra. It may not be up there. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. Are we responsible for one another? Yes, we are. And it doesn't matter if they live in a different place. Maybe they're in a different place in their life. It's not for us to judge. And one of my favorite reminders in the Bible is to live with each other in harmony. So that's all I have for you guys. I want to say thank you so much for having me. And you guys look like an incredible group. I hope in the future to introduce you to some things that I'm working on. And again, I want to thank you so much, Ms. Lamaka and Diane Smith. You guys have a fantastic meeting.
Leslie, before you go, can you share a little bit about what you do? I don't think before you spoke, I'm sorry.
Well, unfortunately, with the pandemic, they broke up my unit. I work for the police department. I was in community outreach, and we went around to schools and we did bullying presentations, and we just touched a lot of children. We investigated bullying cases, but we did more than that. If a child got hit by a car, killed, we went to the hospital, we went to visit the parents. So now, until I see what they're gonna do next, I'm just back in the school. I'm a school safety agent. I work with a bunch of children on a daily basis, coming in contact with parents. So I'm just in the schools. Everybody's different, keeping the school safe. Outside of that, I have the Leslie T. Marshall experience. I'm just a motivator. I'm a life coach. I like to inspire people. I believe that there's healing and exposure. And there's many people that we go through things and we hide it. Oh, I'm going to take this to the grave. I'm an author. My book is If I Knew Then. It is on Amazon. Please support me. And it's just basically talking about things that happen in families and churches and life. And sometimes if we would share our situations with other people, they may get healed. But if we want to act uppity and stuffy, like we never made a mistake, it won't come that way. So again, you guys are awesome. I'm sure everybody on here has a story to tell. Tell your story and let somebody get their healing. And again, God bless you all. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Leslie. Have a great day. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to continue on with our presentation. We have our East Flatbush Community Update. Cindy, are you ready?
Yes. Hello, everyone. Cindy Reed here with the East Flatbush Community Partnership. I would like to let you know that we are pleased to welcome Kiana King, who is a summer youth employee with the East Flatbush community this summer. If you have not seen it, but we are continue to share the continuing education scholarship. The date was extended to July 29th, which is tomorrow. So please share it. We have applicants applying, but this is an application. This is a scholarship for $750 for anyone who is a senior going to college as a first year college student, or a sophomore or a freshman entering a sophomore year of college, just to help them out in continuing their education. The requirements is for them to live in East Flatbush zip codes, which is 11203, 11210, 11212, and 11226. They should have a GPA between 2.5 and 2.5 and 3.3. And then I already said, who can apply. Again, it's the end date to apply is tomorrow, 29th, no later than 11 o'clock 59 p.m. We are in collaboration with Pentecostal Church of God for a back to school event. This back to school event is scheduled for August 20th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Families are still signing up right now. There's over 200 families scheduled, and they plan to give out 300 book bags. We're happy to support this event and look forward to just, servicing the community. I will put the link in the chat to share with families that would like to sign up that's near. I know there's a bunch of back to school programs going on throughout the community, but I'll put the link in for them to sign up. We're also in collaboration with EAP. These are two programs under JCCA, doing another back to school event on September 1st. This will be near our office, located at 858 East 29th Street, from 3 o'clock to 7 p.m. We had to reschedule our Mind, Body, and Soul Street Connect that was scheduled for last Saturday, the 23rd. We are still confirming the new date with the Clean Right that we are in collaboration with. Once we confirm that new date, we will advertise that again. And everyone that is signed up for a laundry card to receive it that day, laundry card is still reserved for them. Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy. Diana, you ready for what's happening?
I'm ready, but I do not see the option to share my screen. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Do you see it now?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay. Okay, I'm not gonna be as smooth as Cindy was. Okay. Okay. What's happening in East Flatbush? Our people, our culture. With that in mind, I want to tell you about a new restaurant that we have in East Flatbush, Banan Fry Meek Avet. I hope I'm saying that right. It's a new Flatbush eatery that offers a taste of Haitian food with a modern twist. It's located at 2123 Caton Avenue, and got a lot of good looking stuff on the menu. I checked it out. Okay. Then we're going to go to families learning together. And for this particular upcoming event, library cards are required. The Brooklyn Public Library is bringing out, to celebrate its 125th year, they're bringing out the Brooklyn Public Library, what formerly was a bookmobile. They've turned it into a cake mobile. This will be happening this Saturday all throughout Brooklyn. They'll be distributing 2,000 free cupcakes, along with opportunities for families to learn how to do things together in our public libraries. And they're also giving out a list of books that refer back to Brooklyn and give a little bit of history back to Brooklyn, about what it was like in Brooklyn, all throughout Brooklyn. So I'm going to put a link in the chat so that if you don't have a library card, if you need to renew your library card, you can do that link. And this way, because the cupcakes are only going to people who have library cards. Okay. Okay. Next up is this what the 70th precinct is doing, but you have to have a fun mindset to get into this. Okay. Coming up on August 2nd, that's next Tuesday, it'll be National Night Out Against Crime. And it's going to be happening at the parade grounds. And a whole lot of fun activities are gonna be going on for the whole family. And it starts at, I can't see because I have my screen. Move this over so I can see. It starts at 6 o'clock and goes until 8:30. And so bring the family out next Tuesday night and enjoy your community. And I just want an update on Community Board 17. In an effort to strengthen their connection, their website is currently down, but they're asking that if you have any questions or comments for them, you email your comments directly to the office, to their office. But their website is under works, which is they're trying to be better and be in a better position to service our communities. And that would be it for what's happening in East Flatbush community. Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Diane. Can you introduce our speaker as well?
Oh, yes, yes. Okay, our next speaker is Terry Rhymes Lowry. She is the regional manager for the EHNC, East New York and Crown Heights, Emblem Health Neighborhood Care. Ms. Rhymes Lowry, the mic is yours. Thank you.
She just called me, was trying to get on the meeting, so if she's not on, we can go to someone else and get back to her, come back to her.
Okay.
Okay, thanks for the update, Cindy. So we can continue with our second speaker. Shanna, are you ready from Live On New York?
Hi, it's Shawnee.
Shani, I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Hi, everyone. How are you? Can I share my screen?
Yes.
I am prepared with a formal presentation, but I thought it might be a little more fun. There's also a game that I put together that I could share the same information with. I thought might be a little more fun. And not as laborious and boring as me just talking at you. Are you open to that? If everyone has access to their cell phone, they can participate. If there's not enough room for everyone to join, answers can be put in the chat. Is that okay?
Yeah, that sounds great. Thank you.
So I'm going to share my screen. Is everyone familiar with Kahoot? If you're not, we're going to give this a try. It should be fun. You're just going to have to log in. Start. Okay. So you're going to have to join at kahoot.it. You can join from your cell phone. And the PIN number is 785-6800. And just while everyone is logging in, I'm Shawnee Aldane. I am the Community and Government Affairs Liaison for Live On New York. I handle Brooklyn. Live On New York is an organ procurement organization. We're federally designated. We're a nonprofit. And we handle organ, eye, and tissue donation for a good portion of New York State. So we handle all the 5 boroughs and surrounding counties. But we are out here educating the communities about the truths surrounding organ donation, trying to get folks registered to be organ donors, or at least to begin having these conversations with family. As a lot of you know, we don't like talking about death. No one likes to talk about death, but it's going to happen. And in death, a lot of us have the opportunity to pass on the gift of life to someone else. I have my sister and best friend today because she received a kidney and a pancreas from a beautiful stranger. And I'm a registered organ donor. And I hope all of you will, if you're not already, will consider being organ donors as well. I'm going to give it maybe another minute or two, and then we'll get started. But everyone can keep joining if you want, if you would like to. Looks like we've slowed down on registrations. I got about 12 here. Anyone else, if you want to join in, please go ahead, or you can drop your answers in the chat. Kind of move this, but we're going to go ahead and get started. And of course, I can't see the chat, so please feel free to unmute yourself and holler and ask a question or say something if you need to. So first question, who is Live On New York? So choose your correct answer. All right, so as I mentioned, Live On New York is an organ procurement organization, OPO. We support organ, eye, and tissue donation for a good portion of New York State, as I mentioned. I don't know if any of you remember back in February, there was a police officer, and shortly thereafter, there was a firefighter who both lost their lives in the line of duty. Both of them were registered organ donors. 5 lives were saved through organ donation, and about 75 other additional lives were changed through skin donation. So it's a huge deal. Next question. So let's see who's our leader. Kiana is heading up the game. Let's go. Next question. How many people are on the transplant waiting list in New York State? Take a guess. Most of you got it right. There are 8,696 people on the waiting list. This number may have changed as of now. This was our number as of the end of 2021. So this number probably has adjusted some, more than likely it has gone up. And about almost 1,400 of this number reside in Brooklyn. And I believe about 90 people reside in the East Flatbush service area, if I remember correctly when I did a little research. So there are a lot of us, and a lot of these people are Black and brown, and we need Black and brown donors to be available to us if the time ever came that we needed an organ transplant. Okay, who's leading us now? Oh, Kiana, you're still hanging in there. Debbie's close behind. Next question. How many lives can one person save through organ donation? Seven. The correct answer, 8. So most everybody got it correct. So 8 lives can be saved with one person. Next question. Oh, Ralik, am I pronouncing that properly? I'm gonna assume I am. You can unmute and tell me yes or no. Kiana, you dropped a bit, but not too far. Debbie's holding steady at second place. Next question, true or false? As a registered donor, the doctor won't work as hard to save my life. Exactly, it is false. But when I speak to people in the community, 9 times out of 10, I want to say 10 times out of 10, but 9 times out of 10, the main reason why people are not registered to be organ donors formally is because they're afraid that when it comes to that time, the doctor will not do everything possible to save their lives because they have somehow found out that they're an organ donor. It does not at all benefit a doctor or a hospital not to save your life. Just imagine Presbyterian winds up in the newspaper because they are letting hundreds of people die that have registered to be organ donors just to save someone else's life. It's going to look absolutely horrible. It's illegal. These doctors have sworn an oath to do everything possible to save your life, and that is exactly what they are going to do. It does not benefit them to let you die. And as a matter of fact, just as a point of information, you have to die in a very specific way to even be a candidate to be an organ donor. If you don't die on a ventilator, you're automatically canceled out as a candidate to be an organ donor. So keep that in mind. And please share that information with anyone else you chat with. Let's keep going. Okay, Ralik, you're hanging in there. Kiana, back up. Debbie. Okay, next question. True or false? Organ donation has age limits. True or false? Majority of you got it right. There are no age limits to organ donation. Our oldest donor, which was recently, I believe, is 95. And most of those folks that are at an advanced age that do organ donation, typically it's the liver, because it regenerates itself, but there are no age limits. And in that same vein, I talk to a lot of people that feel that if they have certain ailments, that rules them out to be an organ donor. Let the doctor make that determination. Your organs will be tested and checked. Your health will be tested and checked to make sure that you are a viable candidate for organ donation. So please do not rule yourself out. Let the doctors make that determination. The advancements in science are absolutely astounding. I believe very recently, a young lady, I don't know if it's a young lady or a gentleman, received a pig heart. Someone received a false heart. HIV positive transplantation has happened. COVID positive transplantation has happened. Of course, those are happen in very controlled and tested environments. So it's not done lackadaisically. It's very, very controlled, but it is happening. So please do not rule yourself out. I have a bad liver, or I have diabetes, or there are other ways that you can donate to save or change someone's life. So don't rule yourself out. Next question. All right, Kiana's back up there. Debbie, following closely in second place. What is the most transplanted organ? The kidney. The majority of the people on the wait list are waiting for a kidney. And unfortunately, in New York State, people are waiting up to 7 or 8 years to receive a kidney. How many? I know probably all of us can raise our hand to let you know who we know that has diabetes, who has hypertension, who is very much overweight. Heck, I'm overweight. Those of us that eat a lot of sweets and don't eat healthy or take care of ourselves as we should, that can lead to kidney failure. And oftentimes just leading a healthy life, a healthier life, can keep you off the transplant waiting list, can keep you out of dialysis, and keep your kidneys healthy. A lot of the issues that our community sees that winds us up on the donation transplant list, we can reverse, or we can not even get there if we just make some smarter decisions with how we lead our lives. All right, scoreboard. Debbie's moved into first place. Kiana has moved into second. Next question. Donated organs are only reserved for whom? Nobody. Donated organs are not reserved for anyone. There is a matching process. There is a list that is managed by the state. Excuse me. Rich people cannot hop the list. Unfortunately, very sick people cannot hop the list. Nobody can reserve a space on the list. Now, what you can do, I've had people ask the question like, well, if I know someone that needs a transplant, can I say, I want my kidney to go to that person? You can definitely do directed donation. That can totally happen. But Kanye West cannot say, I need a kidney, I need you to put me to the top of the list. No, that does not happen. Oftentimes, a lot of people think that the rich and wealthy are able to get these transplants and bump other people that have been waiting on the list, and that is just not true. It's illegal. All right, Debbie's holding tight at first place. Kiana next. Next question. We're almost done. How can you register to be an organ donor? All of the above. All of these answers are correct. You can visit our website at liveonnewyork.org. You can fill out a healthcare proxy form. And that is, for those of you that may not be ready to formally register as an organ donation, you still have reservations, but you want your family to know what your wishes are, a healthcare proxy will be a perfect way to do that. When you get your driver's license, you can register that way. When you register to vote, you can register to be an organ donor that way as well. And we are working on other ways to give people the opportunity to register to be an organ donor. And our third place winner is Danielle. Second place, Kiana. And first place, Debbie. Thank you guys so much. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. I thought that would be a little better than just me spewing facts at you. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you did learn a little something about organ donation. Does anyone have any questions before I hop off? Or mute myself and get out of the way? Okay, I'm definitely interested, and you're very welcome to everyone that's saying thank you. I'm very much interested in partnering with as many of you as possible. If you have health fairs or any type of tabling opportunities, please let me know. I would love to participate. I'd love to come and speak with your organizations about organ donation, children, teens, college kids, adults, our seniors. If there are any opportunities where I can share this information, I don't need a half hour. I can, 15 minutes. Please let me know. Keep us in mind. Lamaka, thank you so much. Cindy, thank you so much for this opportunity to share with the group.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Terry, are you ready to present? Terry, are you ready? Or should we move on to the next person? Okay. Okay, so Brandy, are you available to present now? Terry is having some technical issues.
Sure.
Okay, great. So I'm just gonna put up the slide, and Diane, can you introduce Miss Brandy, please?
Yes, no problem. The next presenter is Brandy Orange. She is a capacity building and learning coordinator with the Bureau of Direct Services Grandparent Resource Center, the New York City Department of Aging. Ms. Orange?
Thank you, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. So yes, my name is Brandy Orange. That is my real name. Brandy like the drink, orange like the fruit. I am from a small city agency called the New York City Department for the Aging. And has anybody heard of or know what kind of services the Department for the Aging provides? You can raise your hand or put your virtual hand up to let me know if you know what kind of services the Department for the Aging provides. Many people have not heard of us before. The Department for the Aging is a mayoral agency that services older adults who are 60 years of age and older. Some of our programs start at 55, but most of our programs start at 60 years of age and older. We are a real small city agency. We're not big like the Department of Health, right? I see some of my buddies from the other city agencies here, or ACS or HRA. We're a small city agency. There are about 300 or so of us that provide the monies and oversight to contract agencies to provide services to older adults throughout the 5 boroughs. And we do have a direct service division. That's the division that I'm in. But we are the people who bring you senior centers, city Meals on Wheels. We have a long-term care division to help people with their long-term care needs, meaning we'll direct you to the places that you need to go in terms of long-term care. We have a division of volunteerism. If you want to volunteer to work with older adults, or you are an older adult who wants to volunteer, we have a volunteer department. We have a senior employment unit. If there is a senior who wants to go back to work, we will train you on how to use a computer. We will train you on interviewing skills and writing resumes and have a LinkedIn page and help you find jobs. We will talk to you about Alzheimer's and dementia. We have a division that just answers the telephone. We actually have a whole division that's like the Senior 311. We call it Aging Connect. And I'll give you the telephone number for Aging Connect in a little bit. We have a division that works with caregivers. So people who have Alzheimer's or dementia, as I mentioned before, and also my unit, the Grandparent Resource Center for kinship caregivers. And we'll talk about that in just a second. We have another division called HICAP, a health insurance information division that helps seniors to learn about Medicare and the best kind of health insurance for their care. We have volunteers that actually, consultants and volunteers that man that line. If there's a senior who has questions about their health insurance or Medicare. Medicare is a very complicated animal. And all you have to do is call Aging Connect or 311 and somebody can get right to you to answer your questions about that. But today, we're going to talk about my unit, the Grandparent Resource Center. But as I mentioned, the Department for the Aging has a wide variety of information, services, resources for older adults. Most of the work is done by our contractors throughout the 5 boroughs. We have them just about every 10 blocks. There's a senior center. I also want to make note of there's a difference between a senior center and social adult daycare, right? Social adult daycare is managed and overseen by us to some extent. We've gotten some monies from the state to oversee those programs, but social adult daycare is going to charge your Medicare. That is not a senior center. Senior centers are free of charge. Anyone who's 60 years of age and older can join, but a social adult day program is going to charge your Medicare card, right? And you have to be wary of that because sometimes that could be a little fraudulent because they don't tell you always that that's what they're doing. So many people say, oh, I send my mother to the senior center, or my aunt goes to the senior center, and that's not true. She doesn't go to the senior center. She goes to the social adult day program. And Flatbush is one of those communities where they're popping up all over the place because people are not really aware about that they are charging their cards, et cetera, and they're making money, right? So senior centers will have a placket on the front that says funded by the New York City Department for the Aging, or funded by the State Office on the Aging, which is our parent company, right? So it's almost like OCFS for ACS. Our parent company is SOFA, State Office on the Aging. Okay, so be aware of the social adult day programs, okay, versus a senior center. Senior centers are free. They're all over the 5 boroughs. Anybody can join a senior center. If one day you want to have soul food, you can go to Bed-Stuy. If one day you want to have Chinese food, you can go to one of our senior centers in Sunset Park, right? If you want to have Latin food, you can go to Bushwick, right? So there are senior centers throughout the 5 boroughs. You just have to be able to make that distinction. When you call 311 or you call Aging Connect, you can actually find out the senior center nearest you for your loved one, for your mom, for your aunt, your favorite church member, right? Who may need some services. Some of those senior centers also have case management attached to them, but we also have case management programs for seniors who may need case management, as in City Meals on Wheels, or having a social worker or a caseworker to work with them, to get them the resources that they need, to assist them with their daily living, right? So we have all sorts of programs. All you have to do is call Aging Connect. And my intern who's sitting next to me is gonna tell me the telephone number. She'll look it up for me because I don't remember what it is. But if you call 311 and ask for Aging Connect, they'll give it to you. And then, but I'll give you the telephone number in just a second. So, but today we're gonna talk about the Grandparent Resource Center. So at the Grandparent Resource Center, we work with grandparents and other relatives that are kinship caregivers who are raising children throughout the 5 boroughs. Kinship care is something that people are really not talking about, and we need to talk about it, especially in this forum where we're talking about child welfare and what happens in terms of foster care, families living together in a world where parents may have passed away from COVID, right? There are family members who are now caring for children because a family member may have passed away. We need to be talking about kinship care, okay? And kinship care can be any relative or anyone who's kin to a child, who's known to a child. So kinship care, a kinship caregiver could be a grandma, a grandpa, a great-grandmother, a great-great-grandmother. We have a few of those. Great aunts and uncles, cousins, godparents, the neighbor next door, right? A family friend. Anybody can be a kinship caregiver who's known to the child and known to the family. You don't just have to be a grandparent or an aunt. You could be a godparent. Godparents are just as important as a grandparent, anyone who's going to care for the child. So our unit works with any grandparent and any kinship caregiver throughout the 5 boroughs. So you don't just have to be 60 years of age or older in order to get services from us here at the Grandparent Resource Center, even though we're called the Grandparent Resource Center. You could be a 19-year-old sibling raising your 11-year-old because your parent has passed away, right? And your other parent is incarcerated, right? You could be a 25-year-old godparent. Your best friend passed away and dad, we don't know where he is, but your best friend asked you to take care of her child. If something happened to her, you could be 25 years old and get services from us. Or you could be 62 years old and raising your 2 grandchildren because your daughter had passed away from COVID, right? So we will work with anyone who is a kinship caregiver, and I'll answer those questions in just a little bit. So the Grandparent Resource Center is a place where I like to say we do everything from the rooter to the tutor. That means from the nose to the tail and everything in between. And we try to make sure that our kinship caregivers can be the best kinship caregivers that they can be, because we're going to give them the tools that they need in order to be the best kinship caregiver. So possibly being a person who one day was hang out with your friends in Atlantic City, and then the next day, now having to raise 4 grandchildren at the same time is a difficult task. And grandparents and other kinship caregivers are superheroes, and they do not get the recognition that they deserve because they are those superheroes. They have invisible capes that nobody talks about or nobody sees. Because when you make a decision to take care of somebody else's baby, okay? Not your own baby, somebody else's baby, okay? Whether that baby is a newborn or a 17-year-old, you're a superhero, okay? Especially if you're taking care of a teenager today, okay? You are an absolute superhero and you should be coined and known as such. You completely change your life in order to take care of a child. And we at the Grandparent Resource Center want to make sure that you have the tools that you need in order to do so. So we will escort a grandparent to family court if necessary. We will go with them to an ACS meeting if they have to do that. We will go with them to school meetings, an IEP meeting. We'll talk to doctors' offices. We will talk to the attorney at family court. We'll talk to the caseworker at ACS. We do whatever it takes. We'll talk to landlords. You know, there are times when grandma is living in her apartment, she lives alone, and then now she has obtained 2 grandchildren. And the landlord is like, you can't live here with those 2 kids. We're going to figure out a way for her to be able to live in that apartment with those 2 children, because she needs to live there, and they can't live back in the apartment that the children were living in before, because mom passed away and the children don't want to live there anymore, right? Because she passed away in the home, right? Those are real scenarios, right? So we try to do the best that we can to make sure that they have what they need in order to be the best caregiver that they can be. But let me just back up a little bit. So I talked a little bit about, so I'm just going to give you guys a brief overview about the Grandparent Resource Center and kinship care. What we can do later, Lamecca, is have a full-on training for the entire partnership about kinship care. We can do that later. If the need is there, we can have a whole training with certificates and all of that. Because you guys are in the business of child welfare and working with families, it's imperative that you know about kinship care that we don't talk about. But I will say this, let's talk a little bit about this. Most grandparents and other relatives who are raising children are raising them informally. Hear me when I say that, informally. Informal care is legal. You do not have to have custody or guardianship or adoption or a piece of paper from the court or ACS or anything like that in order to raise a child in New York State and in most states, okay? Informal care is legal. I see some people like, what? Yes, you can absolutely positively do that. Why? I'll tell you why. Because family arrangements are legal. It's perfectly okay for me to go to my sister Lamecca and say, Lamecca, you know I've been struggling with drugs. And Lamecca's gonna say, I know, right? I need you to take care of Michelle and Michael for me, because I need to go into a drug rehab program, because I'm not gonna be able to do this by myself. And Lamecca's gonna say, Michelle and Michael are a handful, but they're my niece and my nephew, and I'll do it, right? That's a family arrangement. Nobody needs to be involved. You don't need to call ACS. You don't need to call the police. You don't have to go to the court. It's a family arrangement. It is perfectly okay for me to sign a piece of paper that says, I, Brandy Orange, give my sister Lamecca Holmes permission to care for my children with their everyday educational and medical needs. We have it notarized, and that is a legal binding document. Okay, we don't have to go to anybody and talk to anybody about our business, because that's our business. Okay, now we certainly need to inform the school, right? We certainly need to inform the doctor, right? Because the kids are going to go to the pediatrician, right? But other than that, nobody else needs to know, because informal care is custody. Informal care, excuse me, is legal. Now, let's talk a little bit about custody, because people are always asking this question about what's custody, what's that, right? Now, when a man and a woman have a baby, right? Now, I know that we live in a world now where women and women have babies and men have babies, but we're talking about the traditional way. When a man and a woman have a baby, right? The child is born. Neither parent has custody. There are many people on this screen right now who believe that just because your child lives with you, you have custody. That is completely wrong. The only way that you have custody of your child is if a judge issues you and you have a piece of paper that says final order of custody. You may have physical custody. That means that the child lives in your home. But just because you're the mother doesn't mean that you have custody. You have physical custody. Father and mother have equal rights, which is why dad can go to family court and file a petition and challenge you in court and say, well, I want to see my child just as much as you, right? Because you have equal rights, okay? So neither parent has custody, which means that mom or dad, someone can say, well, can you take care of my child for me? Because nobody has custody, right? You understand what I'm saying? Nobody has custody. You have physical custody. But that parent, whether it's mother or father, has a right to say that somebody else can care for their child for them for a period of time. And for many of my kinship caregivers, that's forever. It's from the time that the child is 2 until they turn 25, right? So I have been working at the Grandparent Resource Center at the Department for the Aging for 16 years. My first case was with a young man who was 1. Right now he's a young man because he's 16, but he was 1 when his grandmother obtained custody, physical custody of him, because she's still raising him informally. She doesn't have custody now. He still lives with his grandma today, right? And they're still my clients today, right? She didn't have to go anywhere to get custody or guardianship. And you do not need to have custody or guardianship to 1, enroll a child in school. 2, get public assistance for the child. 3, take them to the doctor. You do not have to have custody or guardianship for any of those things, because informal care in New York State is very legal. Okay, so lots of people are always like, what? I can't believe you said that. So I'll leave a little time for some questions. We talked about what kinship care is, right? Let's talk a little bit about how grandparents are raising grandchildren. I'm going to go back to the aspect of the custody. So some of them are doing it informally. Some have custody. Some have guardianship. Custody and guardianship are a little bit different from each other, but about the same, right? Guardianship, you have to be fingerprinted in order to do guardianship, right? Some grandparents have their children through kinship foster care. That means that they were removed from their parents' care by the Administration for Children's Services here in the 5 boroughs. And then the grandparent or the relative caregiver was chosen as the best resource. And then a foster care agency was given to the family, and then monies were able to come through. I can do that in a training about that, how that all works, right? But the only way to get kinship foster care funds, you can't call on the phone and say, can I have kinship foster care? You can't do that. Is that the child has to be removed from the parent's care. And then there's a whole process that goes along with it, okay? Home has to be certified. It's a whole host of things. Fingerprints have to happen, a whole host of things. So some grandparents and relative caregivers are getting kinship foster care. Some have something called KinGap, which is fairly new and many people don't know about, which is subsidized guardianship. It means that the child has lived in foster care with grandma or auntie or cousin or godmom for 6 months or more. They qualify so that they can get something called KinGap, which is subsidized guardianship. It means that they are going to be able to still get the monies that they were getting in kinship foster care, but the child is out of care. Because the operative, what we want to happen with child welfare and in foster care is for children to not be in foster care. Even though it seems like the other way around, we want children to not be in foster care. So KinGap is one of those answers to that, right? So the grandparent or the auntie or the cousin gets guardianship, and then they're able to get the subsidized guardianship, the monies that go along with it. So informal care, custody, guardianship, some have kinship foster care, KinGap, and some have adopted their grandchildren. There are 2 different kinds of adoptions. There's independent adoptions, and then there's ACS adoptions. I can do that in my training a little bit more extensively, but that's how grandparents and other kinship caregivers are raising children, okay? But the Grandparent Resource Center, we try to be as loving. I know this is really strange for city agencies, but as loving, respectful, and as kind as we can be to our kinship caregivers, because 1, most are older adults. 2, the grandparents and kinship caregivers are superheroes. 3, because they deserve it. And 4, This is a tough thing to have to, your family to have to change, your family dynamic having to change is a real tough thing. And you need somebody to hug you. You need somebody to hold your hand through it. You need somebody to talk you through it. When you find out that your daughter dies in a car accident and she has 4 children, what you supposed to do? You need somebody to be able to talk you through it. We do have some contract agencies that work with us that do most of the work. So I'm not the only person who's doing the work because my unit is very small. We have a small agency. So there's about 8 of us in my unit. A few of them who are doing some case management, but I do it for the most part and then send it out to our contractors, and I can cover that in our training. But we also have another program that's attached to the Grandparent Resource Center called the MAP program, the Mayor's Action Plan on Safety. The Mayor's Action Plan on Safety, we are part of that. About 7 years ago, 6 or 7 years ago, there were 2 little kids, I don't know if you guys remember this, in Brownsville that were outside with their grandmother. And the ice cream truck came and they wanted to get some ice cream. So grandma sent them upstairs, two kids, they were in 1st and 2nd grade, so 6 and 7, sent them upstairs to get money for ice cream, right? I guess there was a family member upstairs to receive them, right? And both children were stabbed in an elevator by a person with mental illness. One child died, the boy child died, and the girl child survived. And this is in the projects in NYCHA, in New York City Housing Authority in Brownsville. And when they asked the community, when the city came to the community and said, well, what can we do? Because apparently things aren't right, right? And right. So the Brownsville community said, well, there's all of these things that we need. So the city tried to fulfill them. And a few of those things were making sure that there's better lighting, making sure, yes, it was a big story, right? Making sure that there's better lighting, making sure that the doors are locked and not just anybody can roll in and out of the buildings, making sure that the children were safe in their playgrounds, right? Making sure that there are services for young people in the community. But one of those things requests was making sure that there were services for older adults, of course, and grandparents raising grandchildren. So we're the answer to that in 15 NYCHA sites throughout the 5 boroughs. I can do that in my training. I can talk more about that. And those 15 sites are the worst crime-ridden communities and NYCHA sites in the 5 boroughs. And I have 4 team members who work with me to make sure that those families in those particular communities, NYCHA sites, those seniors and kinship caregivers are getting what services, information, and resources that they need. The MAP program is looking to extend to 33 sites, so we're working on that now. We're already stretched to capacity, but that's a whole nother thing, but it's going to happen. So it's gonna be happening more throughout the 5 boroughs. I know that East Flatbush is not one of those communities that has a great deal of NYCHA sites in them. I think there's only 1 NYCHA site in East Flatbush. But it does affect us as Brooklyn, right? Because Brooklyn is the largest borough and has the most NYCHA sites throughout the 5 boroughs. So the Grandparent Resource Center is on the ground and everywhere that you can think of in the 5 boroughs. If you need us, you certainly can reach us at Aging Connect, our Aging Connect telephone number. So that's Aging Connect, and that's connected to the New York City Department for the Aging. Our acronym, you know, all the city agencies have an acronym, is DFTA, DFTA. DFTA, Department for the Aging, right? And our Aging Connect telephone number is 212-244-6469. I should know that by heart because I do presentations every dang day, but that number will not stick in my head. 212-244-6469. You can also reach us directly at the Grandparent Resource Center at 212-442-1094. I think my intern Danielle is going to put some of that in the chat. 212-442-1094. That is our warm line, because at the Grandparent Resource Center, we are warm and friendly. We try to be. Okay, so I know there were some questions in the chat. I want to try to look at them. And Lameka, if you see something that you need me to answer, tell me.
Yeah, I'm looking now. I see a question from Megan Nelson.
Okay.
Trying to scroll down to see it better.
Oh, it's not a question. It's just a little shout out because
Oh,
her program is also funded by DIFTA. So,
okay.
Hello,
another
Megan,
thank you
what
for your
program are
work.
you from?
I'm the director of the Family Caregiver Program at Heights and Hills here in Brooklyn.
Hello, Megan. How are you? We love Heights and Hill. Heights and Hill does
We
lots
love
and lots.
Grandparent Resource Center.
Yes, lots and lots and lots of work for us over here at DIFTA. My grandma gets services from Heights and Hill.
Oh,
My grandmother has dementia. She's 94, and my mother is her full-time caregiver, and I'm the secondary caregiver.
okay. Well,
It's a hard job. So we thank you, and
Paula.
I'll be calling you. Yes.
yeah, please.
We thank you and appreciate you. So I'm one of those people who get services from the Department for the Aging, because I have a 94-year-old who has dementia. Okay, was there another question? I saw some other stuff. I thought I did.
Yeah, I don't see any questions, but if
Okay,
any
good.
does,
That
feel
means I
free to
answered everything.
Feel free to unmute if you have a question for Brandy.
Questions, concerns, comments? You want to
Yeah,
tell me that you
I
were
have-
raised by
have
your kinship caregiver? You were raised by your auntie or your grandma or your cousin?
I have a question.
Sure, wait, I
Um,
think Terry had something first.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Thank you. I just want to know because of my presentation that's coming next. Do you guys go out to different organizations to give the trainings, or do we have to go to you?
So I am the trainer. So yes, I can come out to you and do the presentation, or we can do it online. We'll be more than happy to do that. I have several different kinds of trainings that I do, but we can certainly do a Kinships Basics workshop. But I do workshops on a whole host of things, how to start support groups for kinship caregivers. We talk about child-only public assistance. There is a public assistance out there just for children that's independent of the grandparent's income, and the grandparent can actually get those monies to help them take care of the child as long as the child doesn't have an income. So I do all sorts of training. So definitely I can come to you, or we can do the training online. And Rona, I think you had a question.
Yes, I had a question about what if you have a parent that's like out of state and they need to come to New York for care? Do you know if like those benefits follow them, or like is there an eligibility requirement? Like what would be requirement?
So
yeah,
we
to-
definitely can talk offline about that, but we will answer questions, or anyone who calls. We get calls from all across the country, Florida, California, Arizona, what have you, because grandma lives in Arizona and the children are here in New York and possibly getting services from ACS, or they just live here in New York and they know that they know that there's a particular issue. We'll help them figure it out. You know, I told you that we do everything from the rooter to the tutor, and that's literal. We will help you figure it out. Whatever the issue is, if we have to refer you to someone else, we can. In New York State and many states, there is something called a kinship navigator. So New York State has a New York State kinship navigator. So we only cover the 5 boroughs, but let's say someone has an issue in Westchester or Orange County, right? Or further up by Niagara Falls. There is probably a kinship program that's nearby or connected to that. And many of the other states throughout the country have a sort of a kinship navigator, if you will. So New Jersey has one. There's some other places that have them also. So sure, we can figure it out. We'll help them figure it out, whatever they need to do.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Questions, concerns? And then I'm going to shut up because we'll do a training later.
Okay, thank you, Brandy.
I see a hand.
Yes,
Really quick question. Can a working senior still receive services through the senior centers?
Yes, anybody who's a senior citizen who's 60 years of age or older who wants to join the senior center can join. I suggest that everybody who's 60 plus join a senior center. Good resources, good benefits. Lots of information at the senior center. There's one senior center in Brooklyn in the Fort Greene area. You know, they went to Rio de Janeiro one year. You know, they go on trips, they do all sorts of stuff. So anybody can join who wants to. You don't have to be retired. Some of the seniors are still working. So anyone can join.
okay, thank you. Terry, are you ready to present?
Yes, I finally am. My mic was not working. So you have young people working for you. So I was like, what do I do? And they said, just restart your computer. I was like, okay, and it worked. So
Great.
hello, everybody. Hello. I do have a presentation. Can I share my screen?
Yes, you can.
Okay. I am. Did I click it? I probably didn't click it. Okay, let's do share screen. Okay, screen, share, and there we go. And I have to bring it down. Just give me a second. Sorry. You guys are blocking me. Okay, wait. That top is being blocked. So I can do my PowerPoint. Oh my goodness, come on. How do I get rid of this?
Terry, if you go down to the very bottom, do you see the negative sign? If you click that little button next to the negative sign, no?
Click this? Okay.
Nope. Nope. You see, it's go back to the negative
This
sign
one?
of your mouse,
Oh,
to the left,
sorry.
the button to the left of that,
It's the slideshow button.
right there. Perfect. You got it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You see that? You learn something new every day. Got it. Okay, can you guys see?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So, hello everyone. My name is Terry Rhymes Lowry. I am recently the new regional manager for Emblem Health Neighborhood Care in Brooklyn. So we have two sites, or I manage two sites. There's other sites in Brooklyn, but I manage East New York, which is 101 Pennsylvania Avenue. A lot of people think of it as a spaceship. I don't know, when people see it, they think it's a big spaceship, but it's right on the corner of Pennsylvania and Atlantic. And that's where I'm at today. And I also manage the Crown Heights site, which is on Easton Parkway and Nostrand Avenue. So that's my favorite. And I love that area. Lots of good food. As when Brandy, your name, I say Brandy and Orange, it just makes me think of food. So you would definitely remind me of that. But I am so thankful to finally be able to present, because we do so much at Neighborhood Care. It's not only about, how should I say, it's not only about Emblem Health members, because that's not what we're here for. We're really here for the neighborhoods and the communities that we want to service. So I just wanted to make sure everybody knew what was going on, and that's what this presentation is about. So we're like a retail model. So when you come in, it's open seating, because everybody that walks through that door to feel like they're part of our family. And I always say that they're part of the family. We give custom support in anything. A gentleman just left here not more than an hour ago, asking us to go over his legal documents. So we're not lawyers, but we're going to get him all the resources that we can to help him with his legal issues. And that's what it's all about. Yesterday, I sat for hours helping someone sort out their mail. And then, yes, we have people that need appointments and PCPs, but we don't just help Emblem Health members. We help anyone who comes in. They have Aetna, Health First, Fidelis, whatever it is. We will help them make an appointment with their doctors, help them use their cell phones to get on the user apps, anything for the community. That's what we're here for. We have just started our on-site classes, pre-COVID classes all the time, in person. Post-COVID, we didn't have any. We had some hybrid classes. You could go online and join and have a yoga class or a Zumba class. But now we have hybrid classes, which means people can come into our site and watch the hybrid class and watch the Zoom or whatever. Oh, then they can also come and have a live class. And I'll tell you more about that a little later. Community, that's why I'm here presenting, because I want to connect with as many people in the Brooklyn area. I think, Flatbush, that center is more closer to Crown Heights, but anybody who has access to our sites and can come in, we would love for you to come in and learn more, love for certain people to present to our membership and to the community. I feel that everything that we learn in these meetings is something that someone should know. And I'm very passionate about that. So I hope that I can connect with some of you to come in to do those meetings, to tell people more about the Department of Aging and things of that nature, and what resources are available to them. Even the fact of joining a senior sector, I wouldn't think to do that. And I have a lot of seniors that, come in to take the classes. So that's definitely a resource that I am very happy I was in this meeting to have today. And of course, being a part of Emblem Health, we coordinate with everyone in Emblem Health. Most importantly, our sales department, which is right here on site with us in East New York and also at Crown Heights. We have both our Medicare and our neighborhood care marketers who help to sell all Emblem Health plans, including, of course, the marketplace plans, but you have Child Health Plus, Medicaid, the Essential Plan, and all of the metal plans. If you heard of Obamacare, there's gold, silver, platinum, things of that nature. And guess what? We have classes to tell people about those as well, because a lot of people don't understand that. But bottom line here, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure if there's gentlemen on, but it's about wellness and health. That's what we're here in the neighborhood to do. We want to meet the people where they live and provide these services. So one-on-one support, people come in, we talk to them right away. We help them to save money on their prescriptions, where they go for care if they're sick or hurt. Remember, it's not just the Emblem Health member. It could be anybody with any type of healthcare plan, or maybe they don't have the healthcare plan, but we're going to tell them where to go and how to go about it. We're going to estimate what a test is going to cost for them if they have to take special testing or they need anything. Just anything that someone comes in and they need resources or support for, we're going to try to help. Sometimes we're able to do it within that visit. Sometimes it may take weeks to help people resolve their issues. I had a lady come in the other day who, and this is where it's good to have your own resources. She lives in a 4th floor apartment and she lost her foot and she needs to see a doctor. And she was asking me to help her find a transportation service that's cheaper than an ambulance to come up those stairs, put her on a gurney and take her to the doctor that way, because she doesn't have an elevator in her apartment. We reached out to our social worker and they said, rather her coming out to the doctor, let's bring the doctor to her. So we're working with her right now to try to get, those in-person doctor's visits. So there's things like that we're here for the community. She didn't know what to do. And, I needed help to find out how to help her. We help members stay healthy, like I said, with our classes. I did forget to mention that the classes are free. So that means if you guys are in the neighborhood and near any of our sites, you could go on our website, emblemhealth.com/events, and I'll put that in the chat, and you can register for the classes yourself. It's not just for our members, it's for anybody in the community. We have meditation, chair yoga, regular yoga, Zumba, full body fitness, stress relief, all these classes, they're excellent for you to take a moment out of your day for your self-care. And one of these meetings, we talked about that, also taking care of yourself and self-care, things of that nature. Most importantly, we do have events. We have open houses, we have food pantries, we have farmers markets. We're doing a big back to school event at both sites. Our back to school event at Crown Heights is going to be August 24th. And our back to school event here in East New York is going to be August 31st. If anybody wants to come out and table, you're quite welcome. Just contact me and I will definitely make sure you get a spot on the street, get a table, and we'll be able to support you. We are right next to the NYPD Community Center, which I hear is the only one in the 5 boroughs. It is huge, it is wonderful, and they are assisting us with a lot of events. Don't forget the police officers, NYPD's Black Night Out. I think I'm probably saying it wrong, but the Lights Out. Anybody know the name of that one? Well, that's happening on August 2nd everywhere. They're going to be
National Night Out.
Night Out. I knew I said Black Night Out. You know, in my head. But National Night Out. Thank you. It's going to be right here, 127 Pennsylvania Avenue. If anybody's interested in coming this way, I don't know where it's going to be on the other side of Crown Heights, but you need to find out. Go online and please support any organization that's supporting them. NYPD doing that event. We have language and cultural support for our members, our seniors of all ages, and we do offer some type of financial support to help them if they need some financial. Again, fitness, wellness, We did have a lot of nutrition classes. We had cooks actually come in to help prepare certain foods, nothing that had to go in the oven. So everything was, you know, fresh vegetables, things of that nature, but using recipes to do that without cooking. So that was very helpful. We gave out cutting boards and portion plates and all of that. So we hope to be able to go back to that, you know, once COVID calms down a little bit, and God only knows monkeypox is here now, but hopefully we'll be able to get back to all of that programming very soon. We have fall prevention, language classes, member plan orientations. If members don't understand their health plan, we are here to help them. So these are all the different things that we offer to the neighborhood, but we can always do more. We meet the people where they are. We have 14 locations. This program started 10 years ago and we only had 1. Then we got 2, now we have 14. And they are all beautiful sites. They are all wonderful for people to just go in and have a seat in the air conditioning and talk to somebody about what they need. Please, if you get an opportunity, go visit one, say hello, drop off a card, and you never know how we can work together. But we're in Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, Staten Island, and Long Island. I think it's in Belmont, Long Island. We are just moving and growing as fast as we possibly can. So this is my information for Crown Heights and East New York. Again, 101 Pennsylvania Avenue, 11207 Crown Heights, 546 Eastern Parkway. These are our phone numbers. I could put this information in the chat if you like. In my 2 sites, we are also co-located with ACPNY, which is Advantage Care Physicians. All our physicians are here, multiple types of physicians, gastro, pediatric, as well as podiatry, endocrinology. They're all right here at the site. You can have your blood work done with Quest, and you can have your mammograms or any other x-rays done with Lenox Hill. And then we also have a partnership with City Block as well, right here on our premises. And that's at both of my sites, East New York and Crown Heights. I think that's about it. You see this website here, www.emblemhealth.com/events. You can, like I said, it's not just for you. It's not just for the elderly. It's not just for the children. It's for everyone. Anyone can come in and have these services for free. If you'd like more information, you can reach out to me. I'll leave my email address in the chat, as well as emblemhealth.com events. And I will leave these phone numbers as well. Does anybody have any questions?
Hi, I just wanted to ask you, I know some of your colleagues in the other borough, specifically Manhattan, has our contact information, and every month she sends us a schedule of what's happening. So, you know, I know Lower Manhattan is more for city employees, but do you have such a thing for your locations? And if you want to share it with us so that we, you know, whenever you have a schedule, you can pass on.
We just started our classes.
You're muted, or?
And I did it, you know, kind of, you know, slowly. So now I'm ready to bring everybody in. So yes, I will be doing e-blast, and you know, this community with Cindy and Lamaka, they have a lot of you know, resources and opportunities. So definitely I can share our calendars and our back to school events and our pantry. We have food pantries, and we're gonna have our farmers market starting very, very soon. So would you please share your email address? Yes, absolutely. I'm gonna put it in as soon as I finish this presentation. So thank you, Charlene, and my colleagues are awesome. We have a wonderful, wonderful team. Every team member is amazing, and we like to keep it that way. You know, just invite positive, energetic people so that we can take care of the community. Thank you, Charlene. I appreciate that. Anyone else?
Thank you so much, Terry.
Thank you. I'll start putting that information right in the chat right now.
Okay,
Thank you so much for letting me have this opportunity. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, we're going to continue with our presentation. We normally have a mental health segment. We're going to do something a little differently this time. I'm going to read a quote, and if anyone wanted to share, their reactions to the quote. We can take a couple minutes to do that, and then we'll proceed with our program updates. So the quote reads, "You don't have to be positive all the time. Feeling sad, angry, annoyed, frustrated, scared, and anxious is perfectly okay. Having feelings doesn't mean you are a negative person. It means you are human." Lori Destine. Sorry for the typos. So does anyone have any reactions to that quote?
That's fantastic. That needs to be plastered all over the world. Because people don't think that you're supposed to have real human emotions every day, and you can. To anything at any time, you can
Yeah.
have a reaction to something.
Yes.
That's amazing, Lameka. I love it. Thank you for sharing that with us today. That was great.
You're welcome. I think.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, I was just about to say that I definitely agree with this. A lot of people wanna put down those negative emotions because they're saying that it's negative, you shouldn't show it, but that's a part of you. You know, you're not always happy, you're not always joyful. Sometimes you are angry, and it's okay to share that. It's okay to express that. And having that quote and just reading that, I totally agree with it. It's all parts of what makes you human, what makes you you. So you can't ignore or put aside those feelings because, you know, as we've experienced in life, when you do that, it gets worse. So expressing that and showing that will help you to be more expressive. And then also it helps you to not have to deal with any traumatic experiences or mental issues that may bubble up in the future when you do ignore those emotions.
Yes, thank you. Would anyone else like to share any reactions?
I just would say that I think it's something that we need to give to our children. We need to mirror this kind of mindset to our children, because it's okay to be sad. It's okay to be angry. It's okay. These are feelings you're having. Don't push your feelings down. Be who you are, but then also give them the boundaries too. But it's okay to see mom feeling down. I have to reset, because the world's not perfect for anybody right now.
Yes. Thank you. Anyone else? Yeah, and I don't know why I read it and thought they were typos. There are none. I'm sorry, guys. I'm bugging out. I apologize for that. But what I was going to share is I remember having a conversation with someone, and I was sharing that I felt sad about something. And the person basically said, "Is that a valid reason to be sad?" And in my mind, I'm like, I don't understand. Like, how can you put a qualifier on what's valid and what's not, right? Like, a feeling is a feeling. And let's just say that I don't share my feelings with that person anymore because I don't think they really had the capacity to have empathy. So yes, nothing wrong with feelings. We have them, and that definitely is what makes us human. So thank you so much, everyone, for sharing your reactions to that. We're going to open up the floor now to program updates. So who would like to share about what's going on with your organization? You can feel free to share your screen at this time as well, if that will help you.
Hi guys, it's Keisha Sydney here with Sesame Flyers. I just have a few updates. I'm not gonna share my screen. I'm gonna just tell you what it is. And Lameka, I'll send them for you so you can share them. Carnival is back, guys. Carnival is definitely back. Just want you guys to know, this coming Friday, New York Carnival is back, and it's going to be the biggest band launch in Brooklyn. It's happening at 276 Belmont Avenue. It's Friday night. If you guys want to come play with us, you guys can come on and hang out, right? It's from 6 to 2. I'll send you the flyer so you can share it with them. Also, we're having a family day on August 7th at Seaview Park from 9:30 a.m. until the sun goes down, or until, we want to leave. And the And then we're having a pan jazz on the rooftop of the Brooklyn Children's Museum on Saturday 6. Okay, and that's actually, that day is going to be a day of festivities. The Children's Museum is actually having a Celebrate Caribbean earlier in the day, where it's just going to be, it's a free event for the kids. So it's going to be culture, food, and everything like that. And then in the evening time from 6 to 10, we're having a pan jazz. That's a paid event. I'll send that information out to you guys. So thank you very much. And Brandy and the young lady from Emblem Health, that was a lot of information. I was able, it's on other Zooms, but I came on at the end and got to hear some of the information that you guys are sharing. And I would love to connect with you guys after this, not today, but after this, right? To share with you guys what Sesame Fires also do and being able to get information from you guys. Okay, so I'll put my information in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you, Keisha. Debbie, would you like to share?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. It's happy to be here. These were absolutely fabulous presentations today. The information is definitely much needed, and looking forward to collaborating with everyone. For those of you who may not know me, I'm Debbie Roman. I'm the Senior Manager of Community Outreach and Engagement with NYPCC, New York Psychotherapy and Counseling Center. Our work is centered in the community. I'm going to share my screen real quickly just so you see some of the things that we do. And definitely always looking to collaborate. Give me a second. Okay, can everybody see my screen okay?
Yes.
Yes, perfect. So as I mentioned earlier, we are the New York Psychotherapy and Counseling Center. We provide mental health services to members of the community. As you can see here, we do have 3 offices. One is here in East New York. The other one is in Bushwick, not too far from your Emblem Health site, which I drive by almost every day when I'm heading over to Bushwick, and then the Bronx site. Which is right now not only the largest one, but it will continue to grow. We're adding more space because we understand the need. We are open 7 days a week, and we serve anyone from children 3 years in age and older. So anyone 3 years of age and older, that's who we serve. We'd like to approach with serving our patients through family therapy. Only because we understand the holistic approach of, if we want to support the child's mental well-being, it comes as with the family. We also have individual and couples therapy. We also have an adult client care coordination services that is based out of our Queens office. We are proud to say that our bilingual psychotherapies provide medication therapy as well as the opportunity to be culturally competencies to matching our patients to our therapists. So we understand that language, culture is as important when trying to address those mental well-being for our individuals and our patients. We provide workshops very similar to a lot of you. We do bring workshops as no cost. We do them with schools. We do them in community-based organization. We do them with the community at large. We do them for professionals. So if you're looking for a free workshop, feel free to visit our site. I'll put the chat in the link. The one thing I want to say, and I'm going to stop sharing real quickly because this is news, is the fact that we actually don't have a wait list. So very different from anywhere else. We currently have built a system amongst our case managers where we are here to genuinely support and be able to get our individuals the help they need right away. So we have no wait list. In that said, we also have a parent cafe, which is scheduled for October. I put the flyer on the chat, but just save the date, October 12th at 5 o'clock. We will have a parent cafe. The topic is back to school anxiety. And what does that look like, right? Because right now we have new parents that they're entering the New York City Department of Education system. There's a lot of kids that are being experiencing bullying or are the bullies. So we want to make sure that we are giving the tools to the parents as they enter a brand new school year. So happy to be here. I'll put all the information in chat, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Debbie. Is there anyone else who would like to share?
Hi, this is Charlene. Um, what I wanted to share with everyone is tomorrow, we're having a training just for staff on our Healthy Homes. It's a Healthy Homes overview training just for staff. So if your staff is interested in learning about different environmental hazards in your home so that you can share it out to your parents, your clients that you're servicing, this is a training for you. And I put the link, you have to register, and then you will be receiving the link to join or call in for the session. So just to be mindful of, what's happening. And also too, in August, we'll have other webinars coming up, and you can always check the link, but the schedule changes. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlene. Is there anyone else that would like to share?
Hey, I'll go, Lamecca.
Okay, Raleigh, sure.
Hey, everybody. My name is Raleigh Golson. I'm the lead organizer from Impact Brooklyn. We mainly focus on basically all aspects of housing, but my specific department focuses on teaching tenants their rights to avoid things like unlawful displacement and harassment from landlords. This evening, in about an hour and a half, if anyone has time, Impact is going to be hosting a free workshop on Zoom around general rights as renters and also the new increases that go into effect in October for rent stabilized apartments. I'm going to share the flyer in the chat along with the registration link.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that has program updates? Okay, anyone else before we wrap up our meeting for today? Okay. Thank you to everyone who did share program updates. We appreciate that.
Oh, can I share one thing? It is not specifically for my program. Hi,
Sure.
this is Lisa Franz from the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene.
Yes.
Community liaison. So I wanted to share with everyone, just as a reminder for those of you who may not be aware, or just to raise awareness that now for mental health, suicide prevention or assistance with respect to mental health, we have live now 988. So instead of calling 311 or any other number, individuals in New York City and parts of New York State can now call 988, and that's going to be rolled out nationally.
And could you repeat what it was for? I know you said it, but I want to.
Mental health, like for people who have suicidal ideation, suicide prevention, or they just need some mental health assistance. They can dial 988. And that is a national rollout, but it has already been rolled out in New York City and parts of New York State. So if that's for mental health assistance, you can dial 988. I'm not able to drop the information in the chat, but there's also.
I wanted to add something to that. This is Ray. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't.
Go ahead. That's fine.
No, my internet is bad. I am so sorry. I apologize for that. I just wanted to also add to what you were saying, Liba, that to use a code or a New York City area code, so that way they are addressed and given the priority as a New York City. If not, they go into a different place. So they were advising to try to make it as possible to call from a New York City area code.
All right, so call from within the area code that you're in. Right, so in other words, if you call them with a 404 number, you may get linked to services, let's say in Atlanta, but if you gave them a zip code, but once you're connected, they also have resources to connect you based on zip codes also. So, but it would just be a longer route is what you're saying. So if you call them from a New York City-based number, such as a 917-718-212, etc., then you would get faster assistance. I also wanted to mention that NYC Well has also enhanced their services where the sky is the limit with respect to mental health. And the reason that I said that is because even if you're uninsured or there are no barriers to assisting people with a mental health issue if you go through that. They have the ability to chat, they have the ability to text as well. Unfortunately, I'm not in a position to drop the information in the chat. If anyone can drop locate it and drop the link in the chat, that's for NYC Well. So they enhance that service as well. And they also have a link for 988 services, and that's all related to mental health.
Thank you, Liba.
You're welcome.
Oh, Lameka, I had a quick question. Is the utility assistance thing is over, right?
Thank you for asking. So yeah, it is paused at this time. And if we start it back up again, we'll make that announcement.
All right, thank you.
So we're going to finish up with the presentation, and then I do have a couple of things I want to share with you all, so we can have some chit chat time. Okay. So I'm going to go back and share screen. Okay. So I just want to remind everyone that we are on social media, Facebook and Instagram. Our handle is East Flatbush Partnership. Our next meeting is August 22nd. And we've been contemplating if we're going to meet in person. So if we choose to do that, then we will let you all know. But in the meantime, you can just expect that we'll meet on August 22nd for our next meeting. Okay. And if we do meet in person, it will be a hybrid meeting. Our zip codes in our catchment area are 11203, 11210, 11212, and 11226. Liba, would you like to share something else?
August 22nd is on Monday.
I was done narrow, sorry.
It is. Okay.
It's a Monday.
I made a boo-boo. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. It's a Monday. I was like, that just sounds weird. Yeah,
You know,
but
it's Monday. Okay, let me get that date. Or if you can share it out, that'd be great, Keisha.
so it would be the 25th, right?
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, yes. Thank you so much for catching that. August 25th is our next meeting. Thank you, Keisha. Okay, so I'm going to stop recording, and then I want to share something with you all really quickly.